Hello everyone, my name is VaraAnjanB and I'm excited to present to you a user-friendly GUI application designed for executing SQL queries on Oracle database. This application developed using Python CX Oracle module for seamless connectivity to Oracle database. The key elements of this interface include a login window where users can securely input their data credentials, a main window featuring an input area for entering SQL queries, and a submit button for executing the queries. The execute query function handles the execution of SQL queries, providing feedback to the user through pop-up dialog boxes based on the query type and outcome. With its clean design and straightforward functionality, this interface offers users a free experience for interacting with Oracle database, making database management tasks more effective and accessible. With this code, we can easily access the database and its properties using Python code and OX CX Oracle. And then, according to a user, we can use username and password. Since privacy is very important, everyone cannot access the data easily. And in this, we have introduction to the code and about some graphical user interface and the code developed using Python CX Oracle. Let's see the code. Here we have um, import function, import CX Oracle, import Thinker as TK, import from Thinker, import message box. Here, import CX Oracle is the main component from where Python library where we are extracting the necessary modules for connectivity of database. Uh, Thinker is used for creating GUI application in Python, and message box is submodule of Thinker used to display message box. From this Thinker message box, we can be able to give interface to the user such as pop-ups and everything. A message can be also forwarded through message box since errors or anything that need to be modified or such things. And this CX Oracle is mainly for the connectivity of Python and database. The Python links with the database and then the data is retrieved directly from Python instead of writing SQL command line. So here we have global variables, username and password. They are empty at starting and then collected by the user and matched with the already existing password. If the password is correct, then it moves forward and then gives the main window interface. Otherwise, it prompts a error message. Since the username and password are empty strings, it will take from the input and it will compare the both. Now we'll come to the execute query. Execute query has two interfaces. One is host and other is query. The host is a local host which is used to give the query, and this query is this query is executed on this basis of execute query, and this try block is used to connect establish the connection between the oracle and the python, which is this function takes two parameters, the database connection string and query, the SQL query to be executed. It establishes a connection to the database using provided credentials, username, and password, executes the given query, and handles various types of queries and their results. It takes every query and distributes it and handles various types of queries and their results. This try block contains username and password since and host also. And this we have cursor connection. Here a cursor pointer is a cursor object which will be used to execute SQL queries and navigate the results. It is the one which helps to navigate the results and use to execute the SQL queries. And since we also have cursor.execute, and this line execute the SQL query passed to the function. Every SQL query passed to this function must be passed to the function. These if conditions check if the query is a data definition statement, that is create, drop, alter, truncate, and display. Appropriate message using message box. Using these if block conditions, we can get if the given condition is DDL or not. Here we can take the table created or table dropped or table altered or table truncated using this message box. If the query is passed successfully, then the message shown is success table created or success table dropped or success table altered, such as. And it checks the query is a select statement or not. Then if a query is select statement, then it performs the select and it selects the rows and columns accordingly and passes through its command. And it also fetches all the results and open a new window for displaying results. This window will be the topmost layer according to the displays. And this here function, this creates the header label which is used to, and its name is, this is simply a header which has color black. And the display results, to display results we use this code. This part of code is to display the results, the number of rows and number of columns. Here we have using two for loops to evaluate two-dimensional tables which have multiple values. We can use select statement if we want to, and else from here we use data manipulation language DML, and if the code is to other than select or update, other than select or create or etc., it should be if it is insert or update or delete, then this part of code is executed. If there is to insert a value, then this we use this command, and the message box create prompts this message if a row is created. If we want to update some random amount of data, then with this we can use, and it will show dot row count. This row count shows how many rows did we actually change. And delete, we can delete every element and single element by giving a condition separately where, since we have our query executed successfully, this message will be thrown success query executed successfully, and this commit the transaction for insert update delete statements. If the query is insert or update or delete, the commitment is done accordingly. The connection established is used, and every query is passed successfully. Except CX Oracle, this this part of code allows the user, if the query is already lost or it's incomplete, the connection is closed and an error message is passed. If the user also wants to close the connection with the SQL, then also we can call it intentionally. And this function here executes the SQL query when the button is clicked. This is the submit button where the host and query are taken. For taking the query, we have the main window and then text box area where we can insert the SQL command and get it and click on submit to take the SQL query and run it separately. If the query contains any error, the prompt command shows the error. If not, then the retrieves the data. And the function to set username and password, here we give the username and password, and here we, if there is there is something wrong, then the connection is lost. And to create window, and the basic GUI is used here, and the login screen will be 300 into 150, which is length into breadth. And the username label, we have username label grid, we have password label, we have username label. This is for the, this entire code is for username, and this entire code is for password, and this one is for login button. And this we have main loop. Since the code should not be closed once it's executed, it should run recursively until the user wantedly closes it. It should not close upon its own. And here we create a simple main window using GUI and setting the window size and setting background color. And here we give the input area. This is the input area where we can give the SQL query and everything. We have title, we have query frame, and we have query button. We have main loop, which helps us to run the code recursively. Since I said already, the code shouldn't be closed completely while it's already executed. Once it should run recursively with non-stop. Since and we have this, we'll run the code and see how does it work. And now username, and once we give the username and passwords, if it is correct, then we will have no problem and the command will open directly, and we can give the SQL query here. Since I already created the tables and given my insert commands, so we can directly see the outputs how this is. And here we can give the sample. To create a table, we can take create table and we'll paste it here. Let's see what happens. And table created. One table created with sample name 1, sample 1. And we'll insert one row in that data. One row created. Let's see, let's retrieve the data which we given. Select star from sample 1. And this is the data we can give. We have given employee ID 1, first name John, last name Doe, email johndoe@example.com. Since this is an example, we have given randomly. So since I have already given the SQL queries before itself, and I have created the tables. These tables, these tables employees, departments, projects, clients, suppliers, facilities, contracts, employee department, employee projects. Let's see some tables accordingly. Select start from employees And here, as we can see, these are the employees which work in the company and their employee ID. Since this is a primary key, it's always not null and it's unique. And the names, different job title, date of birth, age, salary, qualifications. And let's see about the departments we have. Departments, these are the departments we have. One department is information technology, and the second one is human resource, and third one is engineering. These are the departments we have, and let's see what projects we have. Projects. And the projects we have is project code 101 and project code 102, and the start date and the end date and budget allocation and sustainability objectives. The sustainability objective should be given and it should be clear. This is the descriptive type of attribute. So since this. And next we have this uh, employee department table. And we will see employee department table. Employee department table, and we'll try to retrieve the data. Yes, and the employee ID is given, and the department code, and the number of employees. Let's see employee project. Employee projects, and the employee one has project code 101 and project code 102, and the employee ID 2 has only 101 and employee ID 3 has only 102. So since employee 1 has both, he's leading. And next we have, after these we have insert commands. Since we already saw insert commands, we need to go through these all, and I inserted every command through this. And these are the questions which I gave in the DA1. Control C and control V. So since one row updated, as you can see, one row is updated, and the other, select average salary. The average salary is 81,333.333. So this is the average salary, and since the data is a bit different, and we will try this. And we have this employee name and department name. List all employees and the departments they are assigned to, and the employee name, which is, and so there are multiple employees which have different department name. It is common, so it's not a problem. And we also have this list all employees who are older than 30, and we get, oops, we'll see. And who are above 30, we can get the names: John Doe, Jane Smith, Emily Johnson, Michael Brown, Sarah Lee, David Kim. And hence, after that, we get the department with a budget higher than the average. Budget higher than the average. Let's see. Engineering. Engineering is the only department which has the budget average is greater than average. And there is one more left. This is the count of the number in each department. Since we can see information technology 1, human resource 2, engineering 3, so on. And here we have select the name, count, find the number, find the departments with more than, actually this is 2 employees. 2, two employees, and we copied. I guess it will be, yeah, engineering, since it has three count of employees. So engineering is doing good. Well. And this to list all employees who are assigned to three or more projects. Here we can see there is no one, no rows selected, so it's okay. And since these are the commands I gave for the DA1 and the output shown, let's run some random codes and try to get their output in this one. Sorry, system. From here we can take the to find the total projects each from employees assigned to controls. Invalid character. So you can see name project count John Doe is 2, Emily Johnson 1, Jane Smith 1. And here the end date and start date projects. Here we go. And submit. And we get the start date and end date. And let's select this for retrieve the details of employees who are assigned to project. And here we go. Again, there should be no space. So John Doe and Emily, who have budget allocation greater than $7 million, which is great. And once again, we see update the salary of these by 10%, and we get to see three rows are updated. So since we have three employees, Control C and Control V, Control V. This is to get the list of the names of employees along with their department and their project count ordered by project in descending order, and to find the average of who are greater than the average. We can get these control A, control V. Oh, again, submit. And this we get John Doe and Jane Smith. They are greater than the average salary. And list all employees who are assigned to projects and their respective project details. Here we go. Give this, and we get John Doe. John Doe have two project codes, and Jane Smith and Emily Johnson. And thank you everybody for being with me